You telling me you saw Ted Jones?
I have to cut this part out, but
Really?
And she was like one of the only girls who's ever asked me out on a date.
Yes.
I just listened to our last episode as I told you before as we started, but what's up? How are you?
I am good. How are you?
I'm terrific, in athleisure. You look very nice. I like your outfit.
Okay,
you look pretty artsy, New York artsy.
Okay, I'm trying to be like Gen Z.
Yeah.
But I'm part of this. I forgot to cancel my like fashion rental. Like I have a fashion rental service that's like $100 a month.
Was like Rent the Runway?
It's not. It's called Newly. And I forgot to cancel it for October. And so I was like, let me just have fun with it. And I just ordered a bunch of like oversized Gen Z clothes.
Do they just send you a few articles of clothing every month you kind of pick it?
Yeah, 6 articles of clothing a month. And you pick.
Wait, but you can pick anything? Like you pick 6 hats for the month if you'd like?
No, it's not hats or shoes. It's like pants, skirts, dresses, sweaters.
Oh, okay. So it's good for girls.
It's only for girls.
You were going to
Yeah,
say it was only for girls.
But it's pretty fun.
Yeah, that sounds fun, I guess.
Yeah, because then I don't really need to buy clothes, Because I own
Yeah.
some clothes and it's like, this is so cute, but it's like a sundress. How often am I wearing a sundress?
Do you find yourself emptying out your closet and drawers a lot? We're getting right into it. I love it.
No, see, I never do. That's the problem.
Yeah.
I just buy things and then I'm looking through my closet. It's like, well, I wore this thing once. It was a $70 dress.
I kind of feel the same way, except I
like-
wear my dresses more than once.
Do boys wear like their formal wear often?
No, it's so annoying.
Exactly.
And it takes up so much space in the closet. Every time you wear it, you have to get it cleaned. Because it's just wrinkled. And anytime I travel with it, it's a nightmare. I don't know how guys travel with suits. I don't know how you boys do it.
Do you own tuxes or does everyone rent tuxes?
I love how you asked that. So I went to this black tie wedding.
Yeah, because you need a tux.
Like 2 weeks ago. Wait a second. And you never really need a tux at a black tie wedding, being a guy, for the most part.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I go, there's 150 guys. I am the only guy wearing a freaking suit. I guess I just got to bite the bullet now. I'm 31 and a half. Like I got to have a tux.
I just thought people were like renting tuxes. Okay.
Yeah, but it's kind of gross if you think about it.
Well, these are like I rented these clothes.
Interesting.
Like these aren't mine.
Oh, so
I return them at the end of the month. Yeah, but if I
didn't even
want,
think about
but if
that.
I want to buy them,
Yeah.
I get a discount.
Okay, so you pay X amount of dollars per month to rent 6 articles of clothing,
for
and then
that
you give
month.
it back.
Yeah, but sometimes you get clothes and it has tags on it, like no one's ever worn it before.
Yeah.
But sometimes you get clothes and there's like stuff wrong with them.
But it's vintage. People like it.
Well, I don't think it's vintage. I just think it's been worn too many times, and they should probably get rid of that one out of circulation.
Right. Well, the thing is with tuxedos, though, I feel like for the most part, anytime I'm really in a suit, like I'm sweating. If it's a bar mitzvah, wedding, I'm going ham. I'm dancing a lot. And if I'm renting a tux, they're probably taking it on Sunday after I'm done with it, and then they're renting it out to the next guy on Monday. Like, how clean could that tux be?
Yeah, I don't. But then it's like, do you buy? Okay, here's another question. Sorry, I have so many questions.
No,
about
we
boy
love
wardrobes.
it. We love the pod. It's for the pod.
Okay. So, you know how women, it's always like, oh, I feel like I always see these things. Women like always keep their wedding dresses. It's a whole big thing. Do men keep their wedding tuxes? Do they? Do all men wear tuxes at their wedding? Yes, right?
Yeah.
Like that's what you wear when you're the groom?
I don't know. Maybe if it's a black tie, definitely. But if it's just like a regular kind of wedding, I think you wear a suit. You wear like that kind of classic gray suit, maybe the same one as your groomsmen. I don't know a lot about weddings just because I haven't had a girlfriend in a few years.
Yep.
And like now's like the time when I'd be going to a lot of weddings. So.
Yeah, I mean, I go, and all my friends who are like, I know getting the dress is like such a big deal, and then you keep the dress in the box. I'm like, but I'm like, what about this man's
What about
tuxedo?
the guys? Yeah.
Is he just keeping that locked away?
Girls and guys have a lot of differences when it comes to wearing something to a special occasion. Like girls for black ties can kind of get funky with it. They can wear whatever they want. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, or not wear whatever they want, but it's like a specific type of really nice fashion.
Yes. But like that's the thing where you want the rental service because like you get a nice dress and you're like, but if it's like a statement, you don't want to then wear it to all of the weddings.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Because
then it's like,
she wore that last time.
Yeah, because it's like memorable. Otherwise, you're wearing like the same like plain black dress
So
everywhere.
are
That's
you
boring.
allowed to order something for a wedding on this service?
You can do like formal wear.
Is that another category that you have to pay more for?
No. But that's how like Rent the Runway started, I think. What's
the deal with it, if you can kind of explain it? I also don't know so much about it. I'm like, you guys don't know.
Rent the Runway is another rental service where you can rent like everyday clothes and you get a certain number a month and it's like $100 or something for the month, but they're not your clothes and then you have to return them. But I think the way Rent the Runway started was that women would like order dresses for like a weekend for weddings. Like I remember it being very like you'd go on the website and you'd pick it up at like a Rent the Runway store and you'd look through like all the different dresses you could wear for a wedding. But now it's like, you know, all like any clothes. But I think it started out as like 4 formal events, so you didn't have to repeat outfits or go out and buy a new outfit every time.
Right, because I think I've seen a Shark Tank episode where maybe a bridal company came into the tank and they were saying that they were going to rent out their wedding dresses, and some of the sharks thought it was a brilliant idea, and others were like, ew, like who wants to wear somebody else's bridal dress? How'd you feel about that?
Like the wedding dress or
yeah,
like
the literal wedding dress that like you're supposed to keep for your daughter.
That's see, I just feel like a lot of, I mean, I don't know if I'd particularly, I don't think about like my wedding as like the event of my life.
Okay.
I don't really think
But on the last episode, we were talking about how you were like, am I married yet?
Yes.
But you're talking about the party isn't the event of your life. It's just
like, I don't think like I have friends who are planning weddings and it's like, we need a planner and we have like an event and you have to get, and it's like, you have to get and it just seems like, I'm like, I don't know if I'd even like, first of all, I couldn't afford a really nice dress. So it's like, would I care if I rented it out to someone? But I think a lot of people would be like, no, this is special. I want my own wedding dress.
Yeah, I think there's just like...
And then you have to return it? You have to give it back to them?
Yeah, it just seems like that there's a really big taboo, though, about the wedding not being the biggest thing ever. Like when people have a small wedding and not that many people are invited, maybe the wedding dress, the tuxes aren't as nice. People are like, well, ew, why are you doing it like that? Why aren't you spending all the money you have on your wedding?
Oh, I don't have any money. And my parents don't have any. Well, that's
No, I'm just saying, first of all, you will. I'm sure by the time this podcast comes out, you'll be ready for a wedding, obviously.
Yeah.
But in general, you're supposed to put everything you have into the wedding. That's what people,
I know,
I feel like, still even think today.
No, it's true. Weddings are like a big event, but I don't have any money. My parents wouldn't be able to throw me a wedding, like a really nice one.
Or maybe your husband would be able to. Right?
I mean, if I'm marrying rich, lately I'm like,
why not? Right?
I know. I mean, it's the goal, but then I'm like, who's rich?
I don't want to. When you're saying rich, I don't want to like ask you like what number you're defining that as. But I guess why not? We're on the pod.
Well, actually,
if you're saying somebody's rich, like you meet a guy at a comedy show, he's like, "Hey, you were really funny out there. You want to get married?"
And is he making like at least 6 figures?
You tell me. Well, first of all, in New York, that might.
Yeah, you're right. Actually, that's not even that much.
Yeah.
I mean, well, the other thing is I don't also understand how money works. So like, I would just like, I want it to be like, do they live alone in an area that's hip and upcoming? And do they have their own apartment and they can afford it? And do they go to work every single day?
So that's a rich man to you.
Yeah.
All right.
Anyone with a job is rich to me.
Okay, so we got it. Maybe we got a lot of guys writing in. That seems reasonable.
Yeah.
How much should a guy spend on the first date? This has been a topic of discussion for many generations, I'm sure.
Okay. Well, so it depends on, here's my rules for first date. Okay. It should not be, I think you should only do like coffee or like alcohol drinks. Like I think drinks only, I think no food. Because I think sometimes you meet up with someone and you know immediately the vibe. Like you would know immediately if it's like a hard pass. And then sometimes you're like have to sit through a meal with them.
But it's interesting though, if you get the hard pass right away, it's like, did you not vet them well enough on the dating apps? Which sometimes it's pretty tough to do.
I think, well, you can have a good conversation on the dating apps, but it's like you meet in person and they don't look like their profile photos. I've had that. I've also just had guys come in really bad outfits. And for some reason that was like unforgivable. Like a really bad outfit.
Like a weird corduroy vest.
Yeah. It's just like a lot of guys wear like, I've had a couple guys who wear like jewelry, like rings, and it upsets me. Like I think certain guys can pull it off, but a lot of guys it's off-putting or like chain necklaces. Like so but
would you like the like Star of David maybe? A really small one?
No, I don't really like. I mean, I like.
That's the only one I've ever even thought about potentially wearing, but I would never. I mean,
I guess like a plain chain is fine, but this one. But sometimes it's like long chains and then the rings, the bulky, chunky rings. Also, this might be superficial of me, but do you ever hear someone's voice and it's like immediate, like it's just. You know what I mean?
Or sometimes somebody's name, which I feel bad about. I'm like, I'm going to tell all my boys that that's this girl's name.
Oh, interesting.
Like that's her name?
Yeah.
That's pretty superficial as well. But like, I don't want to be, hey, John. She's from Germany. It's Jan. Like,
yeah.
And like my boy's like, dude, how's John?
Yeah.
I'm like, she's great. It's
yeah, no, like, I can,
like
but at least, but you can get their name from the app.
Yeah, right.
I can't tell what someone sounds like necessarily.
Unless they do one of those like voice note things.
And those
are
creep me
cringe.
out.
Yeah.
Because it's always like proof of musical talent, them like playing a piano and singing. Do you know what I mean? It's like always that. It's like, this is a lot.
Yeah. We're in it our generation is turning out. We don't really know what to do with it. At least the kids who are growing up now, like will have mastered TikTok and Instagram and online dating. Like we just got thrown in the mix. Like online dating, 5 or 6 years ago was weird.
Yeah.
It was weird.
Yeah.
Like our parents were on Match.com. And now most people have 2 dating apps on their phone.
I know. It's so weird. Like I think about like some of those like early 2000s like rom-coms where the person's like, I signed you up for a dating site, and they're like, that's humiliating. Yeah. And you're like, meanwhile, I'm just like swiping left and right, like, okay. You're not even paying attention to the I'm not even watching the movie. I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
It's just like constantly, but you know what I've started doing? But then I'm like, is this also just, because I don't find dating to really be like fun. Like sometimes it can be if you vibe well, but I find a lot of it to be like almost tedious, because it's almost like looking for a job. Like you're looking for a person.
And it's stressful too.
Yeah. So
on that.
Yeah. And you're like, and so I just like get so frustrated when I feel like I walked, or like I went somewhere for an hour. I took a train an hour, met up with this person, and immediately you just know it's not there. And you're like, well, now I fucking have to hang out with you. And like, you know what I mean? So what I've started doing, which I think people like feel takes the romance out of it, is if I meet them on a dating app, I ask them to like FaceTime me first.
I love that.
Well, because like that way you can at least see if there's a vibe before either of us waste our time or energy or money. You know?
That's definitely the move. And I think that should be implemented way more into like the dating app features, maybe. FaceTime before your date.
I think for a while Hinge was doing that over the pandemic, and I appreciated it. But then they stopped pushing it.
Yeah, they wanted just more swipes.
Yeah.
They're like, don't worry about the FaceTime, just go on the date. And then they're like, you could delete it after, but you don't have to. Don't delete it.
Oh my God, I know. They're like the app designed to be deleted. And I'm like, really?
Liars.
I know, because everyone on here is crazy. Yeah. I mean, me too, but. But back to the original question at hand. About how much should someone pay?
Ooh.
I think you get drinks. If it's coffee, you get a coffee or two, maybe a pastry, okay? If it's drinks, I think no one should be doing more than like 4 drinks on a first date.
Whoa, you mean per person?
Yeah.
4 drinks is a lot. I feel like nobody should be doing more than 2 on a date.
I've like 100% done like 4 drinks.
That's a lot.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, but you could probably hold your liquor maybe better than me. If I had 4 drinks on a date,
okay, but I'm drinking light beer, and it's over the course of like 4 hours.
Cute. 4-hour date?
Yeah. Sometimes I go on like long first dates if the vibe's right.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And I have like 1 light beer an hour. I'm like,
okay, so basically you think like $50.
Yeah, but I do think the man should pay.
Okay, that's fair enough. But what happens if you pursued him?
I don't really do that anymore.
But what if you did? You think we should split it, or you should pay?
No, I still think you should pay.
But you pursued me. This is what we're doing right now.
I guess
that would be my argument. I'd be like, let's split it. You pursue.
I guess if I'm like really pursuing someone.
Yeah.
But I don't feel I really pursue.
Right. Ultimately, I feel like guys should pay, and I don't think it's that bad for guys to ask for like maybe halvesies. But if a guy pursues a girl, asks a girl out, he should pay for sure. But if the girl pursues the guy, I think at that point it's acceptable to ask to split.
Yeah, I guess maybe. I don't know. I feel like men should be, maybe this is like backwards of me, but I feel like men should be making all the first moves and paying for everything. Mm-hmm. Because I'm very much of like that mindset where everyone's like, if he wanted to, he would.
Yeah, but that's also on the same front as the girls though. If she wanted to, she would. She's going to reschedule like, okay, now I have to come out and be like, well, what about Thursday? Does Thursday work? But if she's the one who's like, we should reschedule, shouldn't she be the one who's rescheduling?
Yeah, I think if someone cancels, they should then offer other times to meet.
Yes.
But it's like if I also feel like though if I ask someone to hang out and I make the plan, I'm like, oh, do you want to hang out this week? And then we hang out. I think then the next time he should be like,
right, should just be reciprocated.
Yeah,
both ways. Question to go back to this like 4-hour date. What are you thinking about after you've had a few beers and then like after a 4-hour date? Are you like, this was the most perfect date ever? Or are you thinking like, all right, second date, it could go wrong? Because I feel like there's so many points nowadays where like the second, the third, maybe even the 4th date could go wrong and then somebody ghosts.
Oh, 100%. I mean, I'm always waiting for the other shoe to drop. In the past like 3 years when I've been single, I haven't gotten past like a 4-day date thing with
Because
anyone.
4 date is like probably almost boyfriend girlfriend
I think
ish.
I don't know if it's boyfriend girlfriend.
Maybe it depends on like how long that span is. 4
Yeah.
dates.
Well, I actually, weirdly just made a TikTok about this, but but it's like also I feel like dating in the city.
Wait, should we pop it up?
The TikTok?
Yeah, and then we'll talk about it.
Okay, how do we do that?
Yeah, all right, we're popping it up right here.
Dating in New York City is so weird because it's like such a drinking culture, and also everyone's so busy all the time. So you could be seeing someone for a month and it's like, wow, every time we hang out, I get a little drunk, and also I go weeks without seeing you. Do I even know you at all? We've been out 5 times. I don't know your last name, okay? I can't remember what your dad does. But most importantly, are you my boyfriend yet?
Everyone's busy. So how often are you seeing this person? Once a week, maybe. And if you're doing drinks every time, because I feel like it's a very big drinking culture, but you're only seeing them once a week, it's like after a month, you could know absolutely nothing about them.
Because you don't remember? You're like drunk?
Well, because you had a couple drinks, and then also it's not like you're following up with them every day. So it's like on one date, I'm 3 drinks deep, you're like telling me what your dad does. And then like a month later, I'm like, what? I don't remember. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, I feel like
You're
that
like,
must.
wait, where'd you grow up again?
Exactly. Like, I feel like that must just happen if you're only seeing each other once a week and you're not like texting.
But the thing is, I feel like a lot of people will do a lot of digging too before first dates, maybe after first dates. Like, oh wait, Molly went to Vassar, right? I knew I saw that in May 2018, something like that.
Oh, really?
You know? Well, I mean, I know this from the last podcast, but like theoretically, a guy could say something like that. And I don't know. I feel like a lot of people are doing digging before first dates. What do you guys got?
Maybe
to say?
before, but between.
Maybe. I really like him. Is he the one, or is this other guy the one? Well, check out this picture of him with his shirt off from this past summer, and this other guy doesn't. This guy swims with his shirt on. You know?
Yeah.
Like that.
Sometimes I'm like
Comparing.
scared to look at the social media because it might like ick me out.
Okay. A new wave because of the, like I was saying, kids growing up with the TikTok and Instagram now, but like we are trying to put our best foot forward in the industry that we want to progress in comedy. We're like, okay, so this is funny. This will make me do better in comedy in X amount of time.
Right.
But we're also like, okay, but we're also normal. Like,
yes.
We got a normal side, okay? It's not just always us on stage and we're hanging out in the kitchen.
Exactly. What I think is crazy is because I've been going on TikTok lately and trying to like post more, but the amount of people just like crying to the camera and talking about their like real lives just regularly is so weird, crazy to me.
Very weird.
And sometimes I'm like, is this person lying? Or is this like a real, like, are you really going through all this all the time?
Emotional TikToks sometimes, or I'll see like the daily vlogs of the guy like putting on his shoes. I got to get out of bed, making his bed, changing his sheets. I'm like, bro, when's the last time you changed those sheets?
Yeah, you see, like, that's fake. Or there's this one girl who I follow. I'm like obsessed, and she always has like a boyfriend breaking up with her. She's always like sobbing
same
about
guy?
it. No, there's like, and then one of them is like the other guy's best friend, and I'm like, and then, oh my god, I did such a deep dive on this girl last night. I'm like up to like 3 a.m. watching her videos. But then she had this new guy, and she's like, I really like him. And she's like, I'm going to go surprise him in the city. He's in the city. I bought a ticket to go visit him. And then everyone was like, what happened? And she kind of filmed it, but she only, like, she showed her wandering around the city, and then she showed her like approaching him and him from the back and him like getting, like standing up. But it looked like from the back, they were a tall person, but the hair coming out of the baseball hat looked like a wig. And I was like, does this man even exist? Or is this girl just fabricating this all for content? Like, who would ever, like, you know what, because like, is any of this real?
There are a lot of creators that have made, I guess, a lot of waves on the social media apps through lifestyle type vlogs and relatability, which I don't always understand. Like those type of,
but then it's like, is this
vlogs.
even real though? Or are you just like making this shit up to seem relatable?
I don't know. I feel really bad though if I ever post something that I feel is like inauthentic. Like imagine any one of you could do this. Write a 20-second funny joke, put up a green screen, put on laughs, you can get 150,000 likes. It's just like crazy. So it's tough to really know what's true. I don't know how we got into that, but it's like tough to know what's real sometimes.
Wow, that is wild to me. Yeah, social media, sometimes I'm like, what is this? I fall into deep holes though.
How do you mean fall into deep holes?
Like of people.
Yeah.
Where I'm like, who are you? How'd you get this far? Yeah.
What kind of people do you usually like to do a deep dive into like that?
Oh my God, like weird ass, like the 20-year-olds. Like 20-year-old.
Like which ones? Like Addison, Charlie D'Amelio?
No, they're kind of boring because they just like
just
dance.
do dances, yeah.
I like the ones who like cry to the camera and are like,
what do they cry about? And why
like
is that
they're
interesting?
like it's not. It's just so weird because I'm like, is this real? Are you really this upset about a boy breaking up with you? Or like your anxiety?
Maybe though.
Maybe.
I've been upset like that when I was
And you're going to film
younger.
yourself sobbing about it?
Maybe not.
That's to me is like what's so odd.
Maybe they're more comfortable. I don't know. They're being more vulnerable. That's definitely sure. But like, what's the motive behind it? Do you want to show to other boys and girls across the world that it's okay to be vulnerable? It's okay to cry. You're going to be upset about your first heartbreak. But then or are you like, yo, this could get a lot of views?
Well, because then sometimes they put like an emotional soundtrack underneath it and you're like, come on. You know what I mean? It's like, yeah. They're like, I'm so heartbroken all the time. And I'm like, were you sobbing when you picked out this song? Like, what is happening here?
Right. Everything's a little too coordinated here.
Yeah, but I like, also I'm obsessed with like, this is on Instagram, but there's this polyamorous couple that makes like sketches. I'm obsessed with like polyamory and like couples doing things together. Like, I'm like, fascinating. How does this work?
Yeah, how does it really work?
Polyamory?
Yeah, you have multiple wives or husbands, correct?
Well, that's polygamy.
That's not the same word.
Polyamory is like what everyone in Brooklyn does. When you're like, you have like, you're in an open relationship. Like you have a main primary partner and they're like your like ride or die partner. But then you like have full on relationships with other people. And then you guys like talk about it, I guess.
So the main person is okay with talking about your other relationships with people?
Yeah, like that's what, but and you also, I think, can talk to the other people about your main person. Like everyone knows where they stand, but it's like you have multiple like boyfriend, girlfriends.
Does that happen more with like bisexual people? Like,
no.
Like this couple or that you follow?
No, like I don't think either of them are bi. They're both just like they're a couple, a guy and a girl, and then he has relationships with other women and she has relationships with other men.
Like steady relationships with other women and men?
Yeah.
Like they all know about each other?
Yeah.
And they're like, yo, what up? It's weird.
Yeah. And then they like do these sketches about it, but then I'm like, this is probably all based in reality, but they'll like come home and discuss the dates, like debrief.
I was actually thinking about that the other day. I was like, what if I had like a girl in the past who I had been seeing for a few months come on the podcast? I'd be like, what's wrong with me? Come on. What was the issue? And I feel like it would just get so heated because I'd be like, well, you were doing this. And she'd be like, well, you were doing that. But it sounds like in this situation, people could kind of discuss and get along well. But I mean, it's just different once they all break up, I guess.
Yeah. Well,
That's
I think like, I think the thing is like I think with it's like when the couple, the polyamorous couple, like, I think they don't want to break up. So it seems like even though they have relationships with other people, like that's their main one. So I don't know how I could be one of the other girlfriends. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't know how I could date someone who like has a main partner already that they like live with and stuff. But they're also dating me.
Well, theoretically, wouldn't you have a main partner on the other side? And then that person would be the side partner?
Not if I'm not polyamorous, which I'm not.
So you'd have to be in this situation.
I mean, you could be monogamous, but it's like
That's weird.
that
when
would
somebody
suck.
is not, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It's all so complex.
It is.
And I
like
don't
relationships these days are just changing.
I know. It's wild to me. I'm also like, maybe I'm not cut out for this dating scene in life.
What do you mean? So what are you supposed to do?
Exactly.
Just get straight up, just get married real quick? Skip the dating part.
Just-
or go on Love is Blind. You've been watching this new season?
I haven't
or
watched this
what?
new season yet.
I watched like the first episode. I was never into it. My sister told me about it like a year and a half ago. So I watched season 4. And I thought it was good, but now these first 2 episodes. I mean, they just get so attached because they're in a bubble by themselves for 10
Oh my God, it's
days.
I love it because they get so attached over like the weirdest thing where this girl's like, yeah, he's like, what are you wearing? A purple shirt?
I am wearing purple
socks.
shirt. yeah.
Purple's my third favorite color. No way. It's my favorite color. And then they're like,
they get so emotional about it.
I know. Do you think that's real?
Well, have you ever been on Birthright? We discussed this last time.
No, I'm not Jewish really.
Oh, no?
My dad's dad, so I wasn't raised Jewish. I don't really know.
Sorry, I just assumed Kornfeld.
No, everyone does.
Okay.
And I also have a very Jewish vibe and look.
I do too. Anyway, so I went on Birthright and going on that 10-day journey, being with the same people, going through like hard tasks. Like when you're over there, I don't want to say it's propagandized, if that's the correct word, but there's like a lot of things that they want you to learn about the Jewish culture and Jewish way of being when you're over there. So you're up at 7 a.m. and you don't get to sleep until 11 p.m. And it's just like, it's a very strict schedule. They give you your 8 hours of sleep. Like as soon as you're awake, you're going to Masada, you're going to this temple, you're going to the Holocaust Memorial. So there's a lot of emotions that are just flying you all over the place.
Okay.
And when I went on Birthright, I went with one of my buddies, but I basically fell in love with this girl over like a 10-day period. It was crazy. And then it lasted like maybe 6 weeks after Birthright, but like no joke, like my emotions were all over the place. I cried one time a day and then like 2 times on one day. So I cried 11 times when I was in Birthright. Like no joke. My boy, Andy Brand, was counting like how many times I'd cry. Like I'd cry and then try and get myself into a new state of mind just because we'd be at a more happy place. And then we go to the memorial, it'd be sad. Then we go to the top of the mountain, Masada, and it'd be happy. And then we'd light candles, it's sad. Then you'd get some time alone with the girl that you'd like on Birthright and you're happy. So it's just like a roller coaster of emotions that like you don't really know what you're signing up for. And that kind of feels like Love is Blind, a roller coaster of emotions.
Yes. And like you're stuck with like you're only really available to talk to like
yeah, there's like
people
25,
right around you.
25 people in the group, 13 girls, 12 guys. For the most part, there's like everybody kind of has their clique of 6 to 8 people, and you just get to know everybody so well because you're hiking up mountains, lighting candles for however many hours I said, 16 hours a day. You know, it's not like you're at work with someone where you're not focused on them, or maybe you'll come back to them. Hey, Margaret, did you do that Excel spreadsheet? You get that fax for me? You kind of know everyone on a baseline level. But this, you see people cry. You know what their favorite color is right away because there was an icebreaker game and everyone was throwing the ball at each other. Like, well, I like cantaloupe is my favorite fruit. Oh, I like watermelon. Oh my God, I like watermelon too. So it's like you get to know everybody on a really personal level that you wouldn't otherwise get to know in the outside world. And in Love is Blind, when you're not looking at the person, especially, I think that you really just dig into what does this person look like.
Do you think you could do Love is Blind?
I don't think so. No.
No, I don't think I could either.
I'm too scared to to see the person.
I think I could be. I think I would be that person that's like, no, it doesn't matter. And then if they came out and I didn't like it, I'd be like, okay, I was wrong.
Yeah, I don't know, and it's weird. And then you'd cross off people as the days go on. In the show Love is Blind. So maybe by the 5th day you crossed off Carson, and then you meet Carson after the pause, and he's super gorgeous. Yeah,
that happens all the time on the show. Those are my favorite.
Yeah,
parts.
that happens.
It's so good.
There was one guy last season who was a savage to his girl, and she accused him of being anti. I don't know if that's the right word, but she was like, this guy wants me to be anorexic, and he made some comment to her.
Cole.
Yeah, Cole was like, you're really gonna have 2 oranges? We're about to have dinner in a few hours, and she's like, what?
Oh yeah, I watched the scene and I was like, is this that bad?
Well, they showed I think they showed the actual clip later on in a reunion episode where he did say, oh, you're going to have those 2 clementines.
Well, I do think he said crazy shit to her before.
Yeah.
About he's like, well, if I wanted obviously, because she was like, oh, you were flirting with this girl and I don't look like her. He's like, well, yeah, no shit. I knew you didn't look like her. I knew your name. You're obviously not white. He would just say crazy shit. Or one time they got in a fight and he was like, are you bipolar? That was crazy to me.
What do you mean? Why do girls will get so upset if I feel a little thing like that is said to them? And maybe it's not even a little thing, it just digs down. Because I
think it's a way of gaslighting to be oh, you're reacting in such a way that's so crazy, you must be bipolar. Because that's the only way to explain why you're angry. And it's maybe you're just fucking stupid. You know what I mean? Why are you it's easier to write off my feelings as mental illness than to listen to me tell you why I'm upset. So I think that's why it's annoying. Or yeah.
Maybe they should sprinkle a therapist into the mix before they propose.
And also I've heard the conditions they live in. I've heard lots of couples come forward and be it's horrible.
Yeah, they will plant people in certain places. They'd be well, they'll plant one lover here as the other guy is flirting with another girl.
And it's just really bad conditions and they feel brainwashed.
Yeah,
and
it's hot in there.
It's culty and I'm oh, that sounds truly horrible.
There's so many reality shows like this that are just coming out of the woodwork, and it feels it just all kind of has the same vibe. Really just messing with the contestants. Survivor was the first one that really did that, but at least you got $1 million at the end.
But also you knew what you were getting into. I feel this one...
Though?
In Survivor?
These shows? Oh, yeah. Survivor.
These ones, I feel they're it's a love show, and then it's really stressful, and they play on your insecurities, and they don't let you talk to your And also I think like when you're in the pods, they cut you off from like talking to anyone else in your family. So of course you're just like talking to these other people in this experiment and they're just validating all your craziest like feelings and fears. So it's like, of course you're so like in it, you're not mentally aware. Like of course you've convinced yourself you love this person. You don't fucking know them. And you can't talk to like anyone rational about what you're feeling or going through because everyone else is just like crying with you in the pods.
And then to do like that mental kind of wizardry, it's like the same thing in Too Hot to Handle. I've seen a few episodes of that.
God, wait,
where like
you're
not allowed to have sex with the people who are near you. And you find this out like a day into the second day or something.
Yeah. I love Too Hot to Handle, but I feel like that show is a scam because the first season, maybe not, but the second season, it's like the show came out. Oh, but you know what? I think they actually finished filming the first one and then immediately filmed the second one before the first one aired.
How many seasons do they have now? And could you describe it?
Oh, yeah. Okay, so it's like 4 or 5. But Too Hot to Handle is like they interview a bunch of people who are just hot and horny is like the plot of the show. And they have like 10 hot and horny singles come to this island. And this is the part that's crazy though, is that they say like, oh, you're coming for like a show where you just party and have sex. And it's like, who would agree that like who would...
Well,
I would
it's
be
like Jersey Shore though.
But Jersey Shore is like you're around other people. It's not like you're going to a fancy island to just meet other people and fuck
like
them.
20 other people.
Yeah, like there's something about that I would be like, that's what's the point of the show? Like, is there an end game for this show? And then they get there, and then there's like this cone shows up, like a Alexa cone, and she's like, "This isn't partying the Caribbean. It's actually too hot to handle."
And everyone's like, "Fuck!"
Yeah, they're like, "Fuck!" And it's like, you can't. No heavy petting, no kissing, no sex, no masturbation, which I think is crazy. The masturbation one, I'm like, well, these people jerk off.
I remember the guy went into the shower and he did it, and he got minus $10,000.
Oh yeah, and then every time you
pool.
do anything, they lose money. But then it's like so funny because there's always the people who like don't match up with anyone, and then they're like, stop spending all the money, you know?
And they usually get kicked off, the people who don't match with anyone.
Well, the people who don't match with anyone and also aren't trying. Like, they have to be willing to open up, but some of them are like, but I'm just here to party and I don't want a serious, and then those people get voted off. Or if people like keep breaking the rules, they get voted off. But those people on those shows are like so fucking toxic and crazy.
Did you ever watch The Bachelor or Bachelorette?
Yeah, but that one is almost like too long and boring. Like the episodes become very bad. I really
You
want
have to get really invested to it. You want to be The Bachelorette?
No.
Oh,
I want to watch the one with the old
The Golden Bachelor.
yeah, where everyone's like
cool.
in their 60s and 70s.
Oh, even the women are?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So the guy, for the most part, I think, yeah, he looks like he's probably like 60, 65, around that age.
Yeah,
But
I
then
think
the
he's
women
70.
are. Really?
Yeah. And
he looks good.
I know.
And then how old are the women supposed
I
to be?
think they're in their 60s.
Like all of them are in their 60s?
I think most of them are. I haven't watched, but
You think he's down for that?
I've read. Well, yeah, I've read like I've seen some of the bios. Yeah,
I mean, that'll be a fun show because I feel like those people will be maybe a little bit more mature.
I think so. Because also the other thing that's crazy to me is that they're better about it on Love Is Blind, but like even in this day and age on like The Bachelor and like Too Hot to Handle, well, yeah, it's like everyone is like so thin and built. Like everyone kind of looks like the versions of each other. You know what I mean? Like there's no one like with a different body type or
Love
look.
Love is Blind.
No, Love Is Blind is good about it. But
Yeah.
like the other, like The Bachelor, still every girl is like a sorority girl. Every contestant is like a size 0.
Yeah.
And all the guys have like 8 packs and kind of look exactly the same. You know what I mean? It's like, where's like your Joe Schmoes? Okay, don't they want to find love too?
Yeah.
You know. So, and also The Bachelor like didn't have black people on it for so long. It was crazy. Yeah, they didn't have their first like black like bachelorette for like way too long.
Was it that? What was her name? Was it the
Rachel?
No, the more recent one who was black, the girl.
Oh,
Tyla.
I haven't watched it in like years.
Tyra. I forget her name, but it seemed like it was pretty recent when. Fuck, I forget her name. But that's messed up.
Yeah, I remember Rachel was the first one. I watched her season, and then she's the one who like had a conversation with Chris.
Tasha.
Oh,
Right.
I do remember hearing about her, but I didn't watch that season.
Okay.
But Rachel was the first black bachelorette, and then because she was like, then she like kind of went on to like be a spokesperson for like black women in the industry, and then she's the one who had that interview with Chris Harrison and got him like essentially fired because he said something like kind of racist to her. And then that's what like got him like canceled.
Did you watch the most recent season of The Bachelor or no?
No, I didn't.
One of the girls I know like pretty well. She was friends with my ex-girlfriend and she like made it down to the final 3.
That's crazy. I'm like, also that show also, I feel like it's not real because also you're being like flown around the country to be with these, like this isn't just like normal dates. You know what I mean? Like it's so crazy.
We rented the Kakua suite for you in Hawaii.
You're like swimming
really
in a waterfall.
$25,000 a night.
I know. And then you're going to go out to just like a diner one night. Yeah.
Costco.
Like doesn't make any sense.
Would you go on the show? Being all that you are now, Molly comedian, funny girl, and she's trying to pursue The Bachelor. Would you go on it?
No, for a number of reasons. But the main one is they don't pay you until you get to a certain episode and you're paid based on your like screen time. And they only pay for your first look. You have to bring all your own clothes and you have to do all your own makeup and hair and shit.
What do you mean pay for the first look?
Like, you know, when women, like you come
out of the limo?
Yeah, they buy that dress for you.
Right. That's when they look the best probably.
But every other like, what's the rose ceremony? That's all your own crap. You do your own hair and makeup for that shit. Like women must go bankrupt to like
reality shows are savage with their rules,
dude. And then it's like if you don't make it to episode 4, you don't get money.
Right.
So what? You've spent $1 million on all these dresses in case you make it far. You've left your job.
Yeah,
you're humiliated
like
on TV.
Yeah.
And now you don't even get money for that. You've lost so much money.
You get some clout, right?
But if you don't even make it to episode 4, like you probably had no screen time anyway.
Yeah.
You just get one clip of you crying, like, why am I good enough? You know what I mean? It's like, what? That's so sad.
I wonder if there's an idea for a reality show where everybody wins.
Well,
or if there ever was one.
Well, now they have Bachelor in Paradise, which is still like kind of mean, but that's like...
What's that?
It's like all the people who didn't win The Bachelor from different seasons all come together on like this beach and like fucking try to win money. I think only one couple at the end wins all the money, but a lot of them get together and I think some of them get married. A couple of them have gotten married from that show. So, and you get to meet other people in the Bachelor universe because all those people fuck each other. It's so crazy.
Right. And they all like go on each other's podcasts and stuff.
Oh my God, yeah. I sometimes listen to, or I haven't listened to the podcast episodes, are way too long, but like the Vial files, Nick Vial.
Yeah. I've seen a lot.
Yeah. I think his podcast is pretty like successful, but he was like he was on The Bachelor for like several different seasons. Bachelorette. Like, I think
like after he lost, he came back.
He made it to top 2 one season, lost, then came back like 2 seasons later for a different girl, got really far with her, lost, then was on Bachelor in Paradise and everyone had hated him because he was so annoying on this show. And then he was like on Bachelor in Paradise and everyone really liked him and he didn't really pursue anything with anyone, but he just kind of won America back over. And then he was the Bachelor.
Oh, okay. Maybe he was on that Tayshia season, maybe, if I remember correctly.
No, he was on
not.
the season.
Oh,
no, he was on the seasons with Andy and then with...
Andy, I remember her. And then, Andy Dorfman.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I DM'd her one time. That was so embarrassing. Like, like 8 years ago?
I DM people like that all the time.
Yeah?
I used to DM so many people from, have you seen F-Boy Island? Because those people aren't really that famous, and I don't think that has as much viewership. That's the one Nikki Glazer hosts.
Okay.
And it's like... The premise is so stupid, but there's 3 girls and there's only like 9 episodes a season. There's 3 girls and then they have like a bunch of guys to win over these 3 girls, and half the guys are self-proclaimed fuckboys and half the guys are self-proclaimed nice guys. And then they have to like pick one, and they also have to like figure out who's a fuckboy and who's a nice guy. But like even the nice guys are just self-proclaimed nice guys. Like you could still
can be fuckboys.
Exactly.
That's a crazy name for a show, I will say.
F-Boy Island?
Yeah, who invented that term? It must have been you ladies back a few years ago.
Yeah.
He's a fuckboy. What does that even mean?
It just means he like just doesn't want to settle down. He just wants to like hit it and quit it.
All right.
You know?
All right.
But that show, I used to like DM the people from all the time.
Have you ever slid into a DM and it's worked out successfully, gone on a few dates?
Absolutely not.
Yeah, it's rarely worked.
No.
I mean, like recently I haven't done it, but in the past.
I used to do it to like Bravo people too all the time.
Oh, yeah?
But I feel like they're almost too famous, actually. Like Bravo Lebs are pretty famous.
Like Below Deck and stuff?
Yeah, like Summer House, Southern Charm.
Uh-huh. I have to cut this part out, but with me.
Oh, really?
And she was like one of the only girls who's ever asked me out on a date.
Oh, wait.
She's like,
what a fun fact. Oh my God.
That's pretty funny. Wow. That's pretty funny. This is what I guess, I don't know, 6 years ago, 5 or 6 years ago. Yeah. And I was like, let's do it. And then nothing ever really happened to it. I wasn't really into it. Back to our regularly scheduled programming.
But yeah, I DM those people all the time and they don't get back to me. But I have to shoot my shot.
Yeah.
Sometimes they don't get back to me, but they do watch all my Instagram stories.
What's the deal with that?
I think it's they don't want to accept. They don't want to click accept on the message to show that
I know,
they
but
read it.
who would look at a story and not message back?
I think they want to be like, who is
me.
this person?
I don't know. It happened to me pretty recently. Like I was texting with this girl and she was just watching my stories and not getting back to me. I was like,
okay, that actually pisses me
weird?
off. When I'm like texting someone and they're not responding to me, but they are watching my Instagram stories. I'm like, you're obviously on your phone, bro.
That's weird.
Also, like, I also think it's, I'm just, that's why, like, if you're like casually dating someone, I don't think, what do you think about this? I don't think we should follow each other on social media.
Well, that's like an interesting point. Like when do you follow the other person on social media?
I think you follow the other person on social media when it's like,
When you're boyfriend and girlfriend?
yeah, at least you're exclusive.
Yeah, exclusive. But like that takes how many dates? 3, 4,
No.
5, 6?
I think a while.
Yeah.
But like if you're like if you're like dating someone for a month, I don't know if you need to follow each other.
Yeah, I don't think people really know about that.
I mean, I know,
like people will
but
jump the gun even before the first date.
other people
now
like
what?
doing it, and that's, I guess, fine.
Following each other, yeah.
I mean, like if someone follows me, I'll follow back, but I'm not like, here's the thing. I guess I'll follow you, but I'm actively not like seeking out your content. Like if you upload something, I'm not gonna like, if you post a story, I'm not going out of my way to see like what you're up to. I'll ignore it. Like I don't want to know. It seems like a boundary thing. Like, I don't know. It's creepy to me. What if you're like out with people? What if you're out?
What do you mean?
Well, it's like, I mean, sometimes I'll like post on social media because like no one, like my friends just follow me and I'll be like going on a date.
Yeah.
But then if you start seeing someone and they follow you, then I'm like,
And they're watching that?
I can't post going on a date. And I don't. But what if other people are? Like,
But then again, that speaks to like if you have a joke about that person and you post it like on like doing stand up with it.
well, I wouldn't. Do you know what I mean? If you're like, if you follow me and we're like actively still seeing each other, I'm not posting a joke about you on social media. About you specifically. I wouldn't do that. Have you done that?
I think.
And they follow you?
Yeah.
Is it a mean joke?
No. Or just an observational joke, maybe.
About some, but
Or I'll
it's
talk
specific
about-
to them?
Maybe like I'll talk about like dates that I had been on this past week, like on the pod. Maybe. I mean, like if you're listening, I don't know what to do.
Well, okay. I guess that's true.
You know what I mean? You gotta do what you do.
Yeah, that's true. But something about like the Instagram story to me is like so intimate.
It is. You're right.
Like me, like it's like
Because it's only up for 24 hours.
exactly,
As they say.
exactly. And like and I feel like people are always like, I'm always posting when I'm like out at a bar with my friends, just like being fucking stupid. And like I don't feel like I need to see if a guy I'm dating is at the bar with his friends being fucking stupid. It seems like I'm like crossing a line, a boundary. I don't know.
We're all figuring it out. I think.
Yeah.
Us Gen Zers. We're Gen Z, right?
No, I'm not Gen Z.
What are we?
I'm millennial.
We're like the same age.
Are
okay,
we?
millennial. I'm 31.
Oh yeah, we're millennials.
We're not Gen Z?
No.
When is Gen Z?
Gen Z is
I
like
don't know any of this.
is like 3 years younger than us. I think we're like the end of millennial.
Right.
Yeah. But I don't know. The dating world. It's
wild. It's crazy how much has changed since even our parents were having kids at 30. That was normal.
oh my God, I know.
Now comics having kids at 30. What's going on? You know?
Yeah, now I'm
we don't
like,
see that.
are people still having children? Yesterday, my
Yeah,
dad was
good
like,
question.
comedy can't be all you have in your life, Molly. You have to have something else. I think he was like, I was like, are you coding? Are you like, he's like when you kids were born, that changed everything. And I'm like, are you telling me to have kids?
Yeah, it sounds like it. My grandma the other day was like, everybody's dead these days. I was like, yeah, you're right. Nobody's having kids. Everyone's dead. It's pretty funny.
That is funny.
Yeah.
But like, also the world is ending. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh my God. So Ben Hurwitz, I'm not sure if you're familiar, a comedian, he came on the pod and he was saying that too. He's about to have a kid in like 2 months. He was like, the world's about to end. We're sinking. And I was talking about how Manhattan is trying to build like a huge retaining wall. It's going to cost like $120 billion.
For like rising.
Rising sea levels. They put a proposal in like March for $120 billion to go like all the way down to Queens and stuff. But I mean, I don't know if it's going to happen, but just it's interesting that that like it's finally come to putting proposals together and putting that much money. And if they're saying 120 bill, it's going to be like 250.
Oh yeah.
Easy.
Yeah. So I'm like, what's even happening in the world? You know what I mean?
I don't know. Comedy's been pretty fun, right? You've been having a good time?
Yeah, I have been. But then at the end of the day, I'm like, this shit's going to be over so soon.
Yeah, what is this? I'm down for like an asteroid to just hit. We're all asleep. We don't have time to call our parents and bug.
Oh my God, I know.
Just like, that's fine.
Yeah.
I don't need like the tsunami wave coming in. We got 10 minutes to freak out.
Oh my God, yeah. I don't need the like, have you ever seen Deep Impact?
I think I've heard of it. What is that?
It's like this movie about, I think it is about like an asteroid that Elijah Wood is like a kid at science camp and he discovers it. Okay. I know. And he's like a kid and he discovers this like asteroid and then the government's like preparing for the world to end and they all have to like, they're trying to like stop this asteroid from hitting.
How long do they have though?
Like
2 years?
36 hours.
Oh man, that's
it's like
a brutal amount of time.
I know. And then like, but everyone who's aware of it is like, I have to get somewhere safe. Like we have to do this safe.
Oh, it's just the people like in the NASA or whatever.
In government, I guess. Then like Elijah Wood somehow finds out. I don't know how he's involved. He like discovers
he's
it
like the mathematician.
He's like 12. Like he discovers it at like science camp. And then they're like, by the way, this is going to kill everyone. And and he's like, oh my God. And then they have like a place where they're taking a few people to like survive it out. But like when you're like, I don't know. I don't
want to be in the survival shelter with like 20 other people. This
is a very important question. So I've also been watching a lot of zombie movies. I love a zombie movie. And I've been thinking, because people are like, oh, if like the zombie apocalypse happened, what would you do? Like I have friends who are like, I would just like become a zombie, whatever. I have friends who are like, I'd like try to stay alive in the zombie apocalypse and like fight, And I also have people who are like, I just like I'd just die. Like I'd easily like.
You ever become a zombie? So like the first thing you said?
Well, yeah, I guess. Well, but it's like you could die, but not from a zombie bite, I guess. Because I think people are going to be like shooting off weapons and being fucking crazy.
Yeah. What was that movie? Do you ever see that movie with Sandra Bullock? It was on Netflix, Bird Box or something?
Yes.
Wasn't that kind of like a zombie apocalypse?
Yes,
like if you saw the bird, you became crazy?
Yeah. Like if you saw the thing, you like went nuts and...
Yeah.
So you had to keep your eyes closed all the time?
Yeah. What would I do? You're asking?
Yeah.
I think at some point I'd just be like, all right, whatever, I'll be a zombie. It's like how long... What's even going to be the fun of surviving?
No, it would be constant struggle. And then you have to rebuild society. I can't do anything where I'm rebuilding society. Honestly, if there was a zombie apocalypse, this is a dark, okay. But if it started coming on the news, like zombies are here and it's like a big thing that we like, I would just kill myself. I'm not going through the whole thing. I'm not gonna.
Would you go on the street though and just let yourself get bitten by a zombie?
No, I don't want the zombie. No, I'd stay in my.
You need. Take like Advil, like 400 of them.
Yeah, I'd stay in my apartment. Right? I'm like, I'm not letting a fucking zombie eat me, bitch.
Yeah,
but I'm also not gonna try to fight through this.
Yeah. I think one of the scarier things, if you think about just the studio here, podcasts do. If like people started going in through like the trash
that is
pit
so
and then
scary.
Like climbing up the wall and started breaking my windows there, I'd be like, what? What am I supposed to do?
What are you gonna do?
Yeah. I don't think you can do much. Like, yeah, I'd get maybe a rifle. I don't even know if I'd get a rifle.
Well,
I'd probably get a rifle.
But you'd have to like leave your house to get the rifle.
Yeah. I'd maybe hopefully have enough like chutzpah beforehand to be like, yeah, I'm going to go get a gun and I'm surviving this. Let's go. You need a shelter. I don't know. The thought of a zombie apocalypse is definitely not the way that I want the world to end.
No, it'd be horrible.
Who invented zombies? Like that, like the story of zombies, because there's no real history on it, right? Somebody one day was just like, oh, well, imagine if somebody got a disease and they just all wanted to eat other people. It's like vampire.
Yeah, I don't know how zombies got started. But then did you see The Last of Us?
No, what was that? I've heard of that.
It was like the zombie like drama on HBO. But the way the zombie does it like you become a zombie through like fungus and then people are like, but you like if fungus can adapt to like thrive in people, like this could happen. And I was
that's like more so like what happened to 2020 potentially, like if COVID got to people and then they were just like, is that my phone? No, your phone's ringing. Sorry.
Oh, is it? It's all in my purse. Sorry.
But it's okay. But I feel like if people got COVID and then they would want to like eat people to get more, that can maybe be a situation.
Wait, what? Wait, people got COVID and wanted to eat other people?
Yeah, you didn't read this? No, you're talking about if like a fungus got attached to a body that made you want to eat people. Is that what you're saying?
I think the fungus like took over.
Like, what?
I think it was like the fungus like took over the body, like took over the organism.
Yeah.
And then like thrived like that. So like you die as the fungus takes over your body. I don't know how eating people came into it though.
Yeah. You're talking about into our conversation here or how people just started?
No, into even into that TV show. Yeah, I don't know.
Like Jeffrey Dahmer? How do you feel about him?
I think he was eerie. I mean, isn't that the general consensus?
I don't know. Some people think he's hot, right?
Yeah.
I don't get that. And that the Ted Bundy thing, girls are freaking out. Like, he's so hot. Like, he will kill you, girl.
But was he even attractive?
Yeah, he's a good looking guy-ish.
Like they had Zac Efron play him in that movie. I'm like, well, he didn't look like Zac Efron.
Yeah, definitely not.
Right?
5'6", jacked.
I know.
Yeah,
but then I did watch the Dahmer show. Or not Dahmer. What's the show called Dahmer? With what's his name in it?
With Zac Efron, the show?
No. The show Dahmer with that other guy in it. Evan Peters?
Maybe. Yeah, with the guy who really looked like him. I didn't even watch it. The beginning of the show, the first minute, a lady comes around to his hotel room and she was like, it smells like rotting animal bones.
It was
I was like, all right, I'm out of here.
It was honestly like too depressing and weird for me to watch. Like it was too dark.
I didn't watch it.
But I thought in that show made him seem probably what I've like less hot than he must have been in person. Because he must have been charismatic to get guys home with him. Right?
It was guys?
Yeah, Jeffrey Dahmer was gay.
Stop.
Yeah, wait. Do you know nothing? Yeah.
No, I had no.
He'd pick up guys from gay clubs.
Girls too, though.
No.
Stop. Jeffrey Dahmer was full on gay?
Yeah.
No girls. He didn't kill any girls. He must have.
I don't think so. I think it was like all guys, mostly like black men. And then he would like, do, and what was the zombie thing he did? He'd keep them, like they'd die, but then he'd like try to keep
their wieners.
I think he'd like inject things into their bodies, like try to bring them back to life. He wanted like zombie sex slaves or some crazy ass shit.
Damn, a lot of people have things that they just can't talk about that they really like, huh? That probably being one of them.
Yeah, well, I mean, he needed some help.
Yeah.
But also I think if you keep watching the show, I didn't watch it because it was disturbing, but I think he was like really disturbing as a kid and his parents were just like,
whatever. Oh, he's like killing cats.
Yeah.
I was watching on YouTube the other day. This is part of my a bit that I have, but I'll implement it into the story. I was watching it, and this guy was talking about how he is addicted to eating sofas. I was like, what? He said, I need to get a new sofa every 2 weeks. Just keep eating my sofa. Just cut to a clip of him eating the sofa. It's like a crazy addiction.
That's a real thing where people like have to eat, like they eat like weird stuff and they can't stop eating weird stuff.
What do you mean? Like just like macaroni and cheese for you?
No. Like objects, like shoes and stuff that you're like not supposed to eat. It must fuck up your system.
I am sure. Like you just are eating whatever is even in a freaking...
I mean, there's obviously no nutrition, but it's like stuff you shouldn't be putting in your body at all. That's so scary. Remember, what was that? Was that MTV show called My Strange Addiction? What was that show called?
I thought it was like TLC or something.
Oh, maybe it was.
What are you talking about, the MTV show, though?
MTV show was like My Secret or something. It was like people talked about like their weird secrets they had.
What was the weird one?
Like a woman would drink bleach.
Oh.
Isn't that crazy?
Yes.
That's so wild to me.
People are weird.
Yeah, I mean, we're all just doing the best we can.
Yeah.
But yes, they are. People are odd and disturbing.
You got anything exciting coming up, career-wise, professionally-wise, personally-wise?
Let's see. I'm performing at a college soon. I've never performed at a college. Performing at Dartmouth.
Ooh.
Yes.
Very nice. In New Hampshire.
Yeah.
An Ivy League, for those of you who don't know. Nice.
I know. So I'm like going to an Ivy League
tell them you're
school.
from Vassar. You're like, I went to a very well-known small liberal arts school, actually.
I will probably let them know.
Let's go.
I think I'm just like hosting, honestly, a Dartmouth comedy show.
What does that mean?
Like the Dartmouth kids want to do comedy.
Oh, and you're hosting it?
Yeah.
That's fun.
Yeah. But I've never performed at a college before, so I'm excited. I don't know if it's like a comedy show for the kids in the college, like for them to do comedy too. I don't think it's like I don't know if it's like a full student body thing. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But still, it should be fun. And I just have some like little shows lined up around the city, you know, but I don't think anything like, I don't have any like specific.
Nothing to announce.
Nothing to announce, like really.
Well, you're
you know
on stage
I mean?
every night, so if you want to see her, you go to
yeah.
their
And I post
Instagram.
all my shows on Instagram.
But I was gonna say, starting stand-up comedy in college like that, especially in like in front of a probably big audience that they're gonna have, I'd say that that's a great start. And a lot of people don't start comedy, you know, when they're in college like that. You'll hear about kids who do it, but people don't really, it seems like, start until they're out of college or a little bit older, maybe.
So at
Young
Vassar,
20s.
there were several comedy troupes.
Yeah.
And a few of the people in the comedy troupes, I didn't do comedy at Vassar.
Yeah, you didn't start till your house burned down.
Yeah, till my house burned down. But so of the comedy troupes that I saw, because it was such a small school, like 2 people from them did comedy here for a while too. And I don't think one of them still does, but one of them I think still does. I see her around. But there were so many people in the comedy troupes who like moved to the city and then like never did comedy again. And then other people from my college that do comedy weren't in the comedy troupes too. So I'm like, does it even, I guess you'd really have to like.
Yeah, people don't really start to blossom until
Exactly.
they're later in age, I guess.
Exactly.
30s at some point, maybe
Yeah.
late 20s.
So I'm like, does it, like, I guess if I had figured it out that early, that's what I wanted to do. But
when your parents were doing comedy in the city, did you like go to a lot of shows with them?
No.
Or no, you weren't really interested?
I couldn't care less.
Really?
Yeah. Even now when I'm not like on a show, I rarely go just like see comedy. Maybe that's why I'm not famous yet. Maybe I should hang more.
No, but that's a normal thing. People don't really. I don't know. It's just like it's to each their own. People hanging and going on shows. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Whenever I'm like on a show and other people are on the show, but I'm just like talk like.
No one's paying attention.
Well, exactly. I'm chatting in like the green room or whatever at the
Yeah.
bar, and people are sometimes like, "Oh, so and so's on stage. I really want to catch their set." And my first thought is always like, "Really?"
Why?
Like I know, like I mean, if anyone said that to me too, I'd be like, "Why do you want to see my
Steal
set?"
some jokes. Yeah.
Well, I mean, just like, don't you already kind of know what's like? I feel like we all kind of know each other's sets already. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's funny. I really cannot. You mentioned that, but I really cannot reference many people's jokes unless I've seen them like maybe on TV or I've seen their set like multiple times. You know?
Yeah, actually, yeah. Maybe it's just like I feel like we all kind of know each other's vibe. Maybe that's what it is.
Yeah, like you know their personality.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess it's more of that. on
Yeah,
stage.
exactly. So I'm like, do I have to sit here and like watch all your jokes?
Waste 10 minutes.
And then I also feel like a lot of the times people will be like, how was that? Was that okay? Do you experience that? And then I'm like, I had to have an opinion on it
or
too.
like how was the crowd? Hot, good.
Yeah, they're like, did that joke land? And I'm like, yeah. Like, I mean, yeah, but also it's like, I'm not a critic. I'm just not really,
shit.
I'm just not really paying attention. You know, I'm just like vibing. I don't want to work for you too. You know what I mean? Like I'm doing enough by getting up there.
Yeah,
it takes a lot of
lich.
energy.
Lich.
Lich?
Literally, like lich. That's what the young kids are saying.
Are they?
I think. There's a lot of new slang like every week.
I know. I can't keep up.
Dead ass. Lich. Lich was fire. Dead ass.
Bet.
Cap.
No cap.
No cap. You know about that too.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, was that our conversation?
I think this is our conversation. Molly, thank you so much for coming on
thanks for
podcast.
having
This
me.
is really great. Every time we talk, I think we have a great time.
Oh,
Guys,
yeah, it's so
Molly
fun.
Kornfeld, she's quite the comedian. Check her out.
Thank you.
Molly,
Oh.
before you get out of here, we're going to pop up your Instagram right here. Please let us know where we can find you, what
Okay,
this Instagram is, and what you're looking forward to.
Oh, do I? Oh, so I tell you, or you're just gonna pop?
I think you do both.
Okay, it's at Molly Kornfeld, Molly_Kornfeld, KORNFELD, and that's on I think Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, X now actually,
Yes.
and Threads, and YouTube, I believe.
And anything coming up that you're excited for? This Dartmouth gig?
The Dartmouth gig is I'm pretty.
When
pumped
is
for
that?
It's in a couple weeks, October 13th.
Not Friday the 13th, right?
Yeah, it is.
Oh, we love that.
Yeah, in October, Friday the 13th, and I'm at an Ivy League school.
And you've been in your zombie phase, so everything will line up perfectly.
I know. I'm very excited.
Absolutely. Guys, thanks so much for watching
Thank
and
you.
tuning in. Molly, thanks so much for coming
God,
on.
thanks
We'll
for
see you
having
next
me.
time. Peace.